That is a great question. Let me repeat the question. We have in Islam a great system. A system that has been proven for over 1,000 years. A system that, even according to non-Muslims, as you saw, would solve the problems that society faces. Why are we not implementing them in our society? Right? The first problem we have is Muslims today are too quick to sell out on the religion. Too many imams are like, say Bismillah, I need it. And too many imams are like, it was okay. It's haram, but we live in America. Well, if you keep making excuses like that, then you're not going to fix the system, right? That's the first problem. And too many Muslims, average Muslims, are fatwa shopping. They're just looking for a way to make haram halal, not realizing that haram will harm you. Allah didn't make something haram because harms Allah. No, na'udhu billah. Allah, He is all powerful. Allah made things haram because they harm us. You know, when you have fornication, like sex without marriage, what happens? STDs happen. Children not knowing their parents happens. Societal harm that we see. Look, people blame things without understanding the root causes. How many of you have heard about gun violence and the huge problem it is in the United States? Oh, come on, man. Everybody, right? You heard of a country called Switzerland? You know, there are more guns in more households in Switzerland than the United States. That is true. I'll explain why. Even though we have more guns per capita, meaning if you average it out, but not every household in America has a gun. In Switzerland, by law, every household has a gun. So if you take households, then more households in Switzerland have guns than in the United States. Right? How many times have you heard of a school shooting in Switzerland? When is the last time a Swiss guy walked into a theater and shot it up? Right? So it's not the guns, right? We have an issue in our society. We have taken the gender roles, and mixed them up. We have destroyed the structure of a family. We had a mother who was nurturing and caring and gave that tarbiyah, as we say, that upbringing to children. We said, no. We want to free you. I don't know what that means, right? We want you to leave those kids in daycare, in front of TVs, so total strangers can let them watch Tom and Jerry all day. That's a violent cartoon. And I was raised on those kind of cartoons. And until I became a parent, I never thought about it. When I watched Tom and Jerry as a parent, I was like, whoa, ya Allah. Man, that is violent, right? And that's what we want to do as a society. To take that wife and tell her, no, don't raise your children. What's the point in that? Well, this is the most critical aspect of a society. You know who has the most right upon you in Islam? It's your mother. Look at the honor Allah gave, right? We took men, and instead of them being leaders and role models, we made them feminine. I told them, no, you don't man's talk or mansplain or whatever, this weirdness that you try to explain. No, man explain. Just explaining, it's not a man or woman explaining, right? When we mess up these things in society, then we have these problems. So we as Muslims need to stand up. We need to say no more selling out, no more making excuses. This is Islam. Quran, Sunnah, the way of the Salaf al-Ummah, this is our Islam, we're going to stick to it. Every modernist, compassionate imam can keep that stuff to themselves. We want to see evidence. Yeah? Second problem. Those powers that be in the world that want to exploit the poor, that want to stay rich, those bankers that make money whether the market is up or down, those stockbrokers that make money whether you lost your life savings or not, they don't want to fix it. They make the bubble, make all their money, they pop the bubble, still make money, and get hired by the government to go fix the bubble. Come on, right? I mean, if you're a part of that 1% or whatever, yeah, you're living it up. But at what cost? Questions? Faddal.
How can we make our youth proud of Islam? Especially girls when they leave hijab or they just like wear hijab, it's like they think hijab is just like that's fine.
How can we make our youth proud of Islam? First and foremost, we have to practice Islam. If a dad's out there lighting up a cigarette, he can't really tell his son, don't smoke, right? If the mom's not wearing hijab, she can't tell her daughter not to wear hijab. Set a good example, right? Secondly, educate our youth. Why do you wear hijab? What are the benefits of hijab? What does Allah say about the hijab? That this is an honor for women. When we tell our young men, why do you dress this way, or why do you keep a beard, or why do you do this? Explain why. When we pray, tell our children, what is the purpose of life? What are you here for? What's your goals? If your goal is to make money, become famous, be a TikToker, or whatever else, then what? If you make it, then what? Are you going to live forever? No, you're not. You're going to die. What happens after death? What's that TikTok going to do for you? What's that money going to do for you? What's that property going to do for you? You think any angel in the grave is going to ask you your bank balance or your kill count? No. In the end, it's going to be your amal, your actions, your belief. What did you do to please Allah? And when you know that, and you stand on that, the honor will come. Questions? Sisters, no questions? Anybody else? Somebody over here? All right, we got two, so let's go ahead, or whoever was first. Go ahead.
So sometimes when we present Tawheed to non-Muslims, we tell them that we don't ascribe partners with Allah and that we submit our full will to Allah. An objection that we hear is that why do you guys pray towards or bow towards the Kaaba and
Excellent question.
idol worship?
Excellent worship. Excellent question. So, when we say we believe and worship none but Allah.
Can you repeat the question?
I will. No problem. So, when we say that we worship none but Allah, the concept of Tawheed, that Allah is one, right? An objection sometimes is raised. Why do you pray facing the Kaaba? Is this not worshiping an idol? Great question. We as Muslims do not worship the Kaaba. We do not worship the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. We as Muslims, even in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, our original Qibla was Jerusalem, was Quds. We used to pray facing Quds until Allah ordered that you pray facing Mecca, right? And the Kaaba is the center of it. But these are directions of prayer. We don't pray to it. For example, here in America, we pray northeast. Does that mean that we worship the direction, northeast? No. Somebody who's west of the Kaaba may pray facing west. Does that mean they worship the west? No. Right? These are directions. And this is to show unity. Imagine if you were in a mosque and people were praying all different ways and bowing and bumping heads. Chaos. No, this is to unite our direction of prayer. We do not worship Hajar Aswad, we do the black stone, we don't worship the Kaaba, we do not worship Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. We worship none but Allah. We have in our prayer, bowing, prostration, these actions, facing the direction of the Kaaba. Even today, when we're sitting here, we don't have little idols of the Kaaba. No. We look towards which way is the Qibla, and even if you're a little bit off, as long as the general direction, your prayer is fine. But it unites the Muslim Ummah. No matter where you go, any mosque, where is the mosque going to be praying towards? Mecca. Right? In one direction. So this is not something we worship, but rather a direction we face. Go ahead.
First of all, thank you for your time. Barakallahu feek.
Hayyakum Allah.
So I feel like today what we focused on is obviously the goodness that the Ummah has brought to the earth.
Alhamdulillah.
Also, the problems that we still face here, despite Islam and despite the fact that we have the solutions. So, what is something that us as Muslims could do, and then something also for the non-Muslims to do, leaving here today, that we could do to at least try and help?
Excellent question, and I'll repeat it. So, in summary, we focused about some of what Islam is first, and then what Islam brought to the heritage of humanity, and the problems we face and how Islam is the solution. But the question, an excellent question, is what can Muslims and non-Muslims that are here today do before leaving to solve it? Non-Muslims, you can become Muslim. This is the beginning, right? And for the Muslims, we can make a commitment that from today onwards, we are going to be a part of the solution to the society's problems. We are not going to shy away from discussing the problems we face as a society with drugs. We're not going to sweep it under the carpet. We're not going to just ignore the breakdown in the family structure. We're not going to be afraid to say that we don't agree with the LGBTQXYZ lifestyle. We're not going to be afraid to say that we as Muslims believe in the Sharia. Oh yeah. Sorry guys. This is the way I am, so. Right? We're going to be real about it. We as Muslims are going to say, we are Muslim. We believe in the Quran. We believe in the Sunnah. We believe in the way of the Salaf al-Ummah. We believe in the Sharia. We believe that those laws revealed by Allah to His Prophet ﷺ for this humanity, not just for Muslims, but for all of humanity to live under, these are the best. This is what solves the problems we face. We need to be representatives of that. And when we as Muslims take on that task with da'wah, calling people towards it, with implementing it into our own lives, right? By being ambassadors of Islam, then this is the part of the solution. Questions?
قال يا عشيرتي جميعكم حتى ابنتي لا أغني عنكم فاعبدوا إلهكم ووحدوا.
إذا أعجبك الفيديو لا تنسى الإعجاب والتعليق، ولكي يصلك كل جديد اشترك الآن.